Tonight, the DEA is offering $10 million for information leading to the arrest of the Mexican drug kingpin known as El Mencho. He's blamed for a flood of narcotics into the U.S. And in tonight's Eye on America, Adriana Diaz takes us on the hunt for this dangerous drug lord.
Ever wondered how in the movies, when the shooting begins, the bad guy never runs out of weapons? They always have a gun hidden somewhere. Well, it's the same in real life too. Hey, welcome back to True Crime Chronicles. In today's video, we're going to talk about one of the most dangerous cartels right now in Mexico, and how they get their weapons. Stay with us till the end to get to know about it in detail. So without wasting any further time, let us get started. The El Mencho. At first, let's talk about El Mencho. Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes is a Mexican drug lord and the head of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, an organized crime organization with its headquarters in Jalisco. He's also known by his moniker El Mencho. He is one of the most wanted men in the United States and the most wanted man in Mexico. Portland. A master bricklayer who assisted in the construction of homes in the Portland region, also operated a clandestine gun trafficking ring that supplied a brutal Mexican gang with military-grade weaponry. Mexican-born David Acosta Rosales, who obtained green card status 25 years ago, established a life in the charming middle-class neighborhood of Troutdale, which is located 30 minutes east of downtown Portland and is referred to as the western entrance to the Columbia River Gorge. From here, Acosta carried out orders from the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, a major opponent of the United States, with headquarters in the thriving Mexican metropolis of Guadalajara, in the western state of Jalisco. The billion-dollar cartel, known as CJNG, has an army greater than its main competitor, the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, with more than 5,000 individuals. Acosta and individuals like him throughout the U.S. aid in the continuous flow of weapons into Mexico from the south, arming CJNG and its competitors. It's known as the Iron River by some federal authorities, and as Hormiga, which is Spanish for ant or ant trail by cartel members. Mexico only has one gun shop and provides fewer than 50 firearm licenses annually. Number of firearms. Mexican authorities estimate that due to loose laws and the prevalence of gun shops, the majority of the guns used in deadly cartel wars, an estimated 500,000 guns annually, come from the US. In a primarily symbolic case that was dropped on October 1st, the Mexican government sued prominent American gun manufacturers in federal court in Boston last year. According to court documents, Acosta, 52, and his team delivered CJNG some of the products that Mexico's lawsuit singled out. According to Jonathan T. McPherson, director of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives Seattle Field Division, which also includes Oregon, the presence of these kinds of weapons in the possession of Mexican cartel members is a serious concern. The attack. One of the most vicious cartels is CJNG. Its members have attacked police with sniper rifles, executed competitors or thieves in acid baths, beheaded and buried adversaries in mass graves, and hung victims from important bridges. By buying judges, police and border officials, and killing those who refuse bribes, the gang maintains a foothold throughout Mexico. Cartel members ambushed a caravan in 2020 in an attempt to kill Mexico City Police Chief Omar Hamid Garcia Harfuch, was hit in the shoulder, collarbone, and knee. The chief retaliated by pledging to keep fighting cowardly organized crime and calling out CJNG in tweets from his hospital bed, where he was recovering. DEA agents accused the CJNG cartel, along with the notorious Sinaloa cartel, of being responsible for the majority of illegal drugs in the United States, including illicit fentanyl, which is increasing the number of overdose deaths, which reached over 108,000 last year. Members of the CJNG have been found on every continent except Antarctica. At a joint news conference in 2018, the DEA, the US Treasury Department, and then Attorney General Jeff Sessions announced indictments in DC against the cartel chief and cautioned about the risks of CJNG. According to a joint news release, which accused the cartel of smuggling tons of drugs into the United States, the CJNG has emerged as the most powerful drug cartel in Mexico, and is considered by the Department of Justice as one of the 5 most dangerous international crime organizations in the world. If you like this video, please do subscribe and like to never miss our regular uploads. Weapons designed for mass destruction. According to the sentencing document prosecutors used to push for a lengthy jail sentence for Acosta, he established a gun cell in the Portland case that transferred more than 150 sniper rifles and other powerful firearms to CJNG, knowing that its members wanted to create a mess against enemies. Some of the weapons cost over $8,000 each. In October 2020, ATF agents apprehended Acosta as he attempted to flee in a U-Haul while armed with a grenade launcher. This is a similar weapon to the one used by CJNG in 2015 to blow up a Mexican military helicopter out of the sky as it was flying towards a compound to arrest its elusive cartel boss, Mencho Oseguera Cervantes, also known as El Mencho. Despite being on the DAA's most wanted list and carrying a $10 million reward for information leading to his location, he's been at large for more than 10 years. Agents also discovered a belt-fed machine pistol that weighs around 100 pounds and fires 0.5 caliber bullets inside the U-Haul. Similar weapons are used by the US military and are installed on tanks and Humvees. According to McPherson, these guns have the strength to rip through engine blocks and armored vehicles. This type of ammunition has an accuracy range of more than 1 mile, and at close ranges, it can throw concrete, according to prosecutors from the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Oregon. According to prosecutors' arguments in court papers, this is the type of pistol that the CJNG uses to install on top of their vehicles so that they can drive them around and terrorize and kill people. Acosta made an effort to dissociate himself from the crime by asserting that he was unaware of what was in the U-rear. He was unaware that he was giving a stack of cash to an undercover agent when he gave the seller $16,000. The strong proof was provided by audio of Acosta discussing the weapons and footage of him looking at them. Gun stores in the Portland and Salem regions sold Acosta and his team powerful firearms. From there, traveling to the border on Interstate 5 in the south is simple. In a request asking for a lengthy jail sentence, the prosecution claimed that Acosta delivered the cartel weapons designed for mass destruction. Acosta, who was told to stay in jail until his case went to trial, admitted guilt in December in federal court in Portland and was given a 6-year, 3-month prison term. Benjamin T. Anderson, who represented him, argued for less time, telling the judge, "He's been residing here legally for years, but everything has changed. He'll be sent back to Mexico. He won't be allowed to enter the country again," which is a serious sentence in my opinion. Acosta had received a few prior sentences for operating a vehicle while intoxicated, and his lawyer said that this contributed to his fall from grace. Greed was to blame, according to the prosecution. In April 2020, investigators detained one of Acosta's straw buyers, but Acosta was unable to stop the gun sale. Instead, they claimed he increased the ante and started purchasing larger equipment, like the grenade launcher, to increase his earnings. Suspicions are raised by multiple sales of .50 caliber machine guns. One of the admitted straw buyers, Julio Aboites Zavala, 35, was represented by John Gutzbahal, who claimed that his client hadn't considered the implications of his actions until after his arrest. In a recent interview at his office in the affluent neighborhood of Lake Oswego, south of Portland, Gutzbahal claimed that the man had been approached and requested to purchase firearms without being questioned. He was under financial strain. He put forth a lot of effort to support his mother and his family, and he utilized the cash Acosta gave him to settle his debts. According to his attorney, Aboites is currently regretful and ashamed of his arrest. He is currently serving a 15-month term and is expected to be released in January. He intends to resume working. In support of an earlier release, his lawyer claimed that Aboites didn't assist in the acquisition of the most dangerous weapons. He hasn't been involved with the .50 caliber machine guns, bazookas, or grenade launchers. A vendor became suspicious when several customers purchased multiple .50 caliber machine guns, so they notified the ATF. In April 2020, agents made their first arrest in the case and seized several weapons headed for CJNG. Acosta owed the cartel, according to the prosecution, because he'd received upfront payment to plan the transactions. Prosecutors said that although he denied having debt, some of his lands in Mexico ended up in the hands of the cartel. At a federal correctional facility in Seattle, Acosta is presently completing his sentence. After his release, he will likely be deported and sent to reside away from his family in the Portland region. Acosta may have been a lovely, caring family man, the prosecution claims, but for more than a year, he managed a gun trafficking cell whose ultimate goal was to tear families apart through cruel, unspeakable violence. So this is it for today's video. Hope you liked the video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and make sure to hit the bell icon so you don't miss any video from our channel. Do mention in the comments what the next video should be about. Thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you in the next one.